The future. Now we're going to look at all the different types of futures and look at the structures and see when we use them. It is a little bit tricky, but we're going to go through each one and see how they function. So let's first look at a way of making predictions. Now we can do this with will plus the infinitive without to. We could say, we will probably get a bonus this year because the company I work for is doing really well. All right. Now here we use will because it's a prediction, right? We're not 100% sure, but we think it's very likely. Be careful with the word order because when you write this sentence in the negative, for example, I probably won't be able to come to your party because I have to finish a project by a deadline. Here the word order changes a little bit because it's negative, all right? So with the affirmative, will, and then probably, and then the infinitive. But with the negative, we put probably, and then will not, and then the verb, the infinitive. Okay, so the word order changes a little bit from the positive and to the negative. Okay, I expect I'll fail my driving test. Maybe I'm like really bad at driving, and so I think that I'm going to fail my driving test. Yeah, so expect means is the same as I think. All right, so it could be something good or something bad. Okay, I expect I will pass because I'm really good, or I expect I'll fail because I'm a disaster. And with hope I pass my university entrance exams. This is for something that you want to happen. This is something good. So I hope I pass the university entrance exams. We can also use will for spontaneous decisions, all right? Now this means that you make the decision as you are speaking, all right? So here we've got, I think I'll have the cheese and tomato pizza. So maybe you're in a restaurant and you're looking at the menu and you're trying to decide what to have. And so when you see what you like, you say, I think I will have the cheese and tomato pizza. So it's a decision that you make now as you are speaking. We can also use will for requests, okay, if we want to ask someone for something. Will you help me clean the house this afternoon? All right, so maybe you ask your husband, yeah, will you help me clean the house this afternoon? And this is a request, all right? It's also kind of spontaneous because you're asking it now, you're deciding now that you want the other person to help you. And similarly, if you make an offer, oh, you look tired, I'll look after the boys if you like. So maybe you have two boys, you have two children, and you say to your husband, oh, you look tired, yeah? I'll look after the boys, yeah? So you're making an offer and you're doing that like spontaneously. Promises. I promise I won't tell mum that you came home late last night. So maybe your little brother came home at like midnight and you're promising him that you won't tell your mum about this because your mum would be very angry. Okay, so again, you're promising, and we use will, in this case it's negative, won't, all right, and then tell. We can also use it for a future fact. Okay, this is kind of quite different. John will be 10 on Sunday. Shall we have a nice party? Now this is something that is absolutely certain, right? It's not a prediction, it's sure that John has his birthday on Sunday, and so he will be 10. So we can use will when we are completely sure of a fact in the future. Now, we looked at predictions using will. You can also make a prediction using going to and the infinitive. Look at those dark clouds. It's going to rain soon. Okay, so here you have some evidence, right? The dark clouds in the sky, and because of this you can make the prediction. It's going to rain soon, right? So this is something that's imminent. It's going to happen in the near future. You can also use going to with the infinitive for plans and intentions. I'm going to revise all the phrasal verbs this weekend because I've got an exam. This is a plan because, you have to learn the phrasal verbs, so you're going to do that this weekend and you have this intention to study. If it's a fixed plan, we can also use present continuous. For example, I'm meeting some clients at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Normally, this kind of plan is something very organized. Maybe you have written it in your diary and tomorrow you have this meeting. So I am meeting some clients at 11 o'clock tomorrow. We can also use present simple for the future if it's something that's like a timetabled event. For example, the film starts at 8:30. I mean, this is written down in the cinema. It starts at 8:30. It's tomorrow. Maybe you're going to the cinema tomorrow and you say it starts at 8:30. So we can use the present simple if it's a very fixed timetabled event. Now, after certain time linkers, as soon as, until, when, before, and after, we can also make like a future sentence, but we use the first half of the sentence in the future and the second half in the present or some kind of present tense. For example, I'll start making supper as soon as I get back from work. So as soon as is followed by a present simple here, okay? You could also follow as soon as with present perfect or present continuous, all right? But it has to be some kind of present tense. We can't say as soon as I will get back, no. So I will start making supper as soon as I get back. Then we've got future continuous. Now, this is for something that's going to be happening around a point in time in the future. This time next week, I'll be lying on a beach in the Bahamas. So maybe you're going on holiday next week. And so you're saying today maybe is Tuesday. Next Tuesday, I will be lying on the beach. Lucky you. That's going to be really nice. You're looking into the future and saying what is happening around a point in the future. So that's will with be and then the ing form of the verb. Then we've got future perfect. This is for something which will be completed by a point in time in the future. So for example, by the end of this term, I'll have finished all my project work. So maybe you started your project work last year and it's been continuing until now and it's going to continue into the future. But you're saying that by the end of this term, okay, so maybe in 1 month's time, you will have finished the project work. And then future perfect continuous, all right? This is for something which will continue until a point of time in the future. By this time next month, I'll have been living in Rome for 10 years. So maybe now it's March, for example, and you're saying that when April comes, yeah, that you will have been living in Rome for 10 years. You came 10 years ago, all right, and in April it will be completed that 10 years. And then we've got be likely or unlikely with the infinitive. This is for probability. My sister-in-law is unlikely to get here before 7 o'clock because she has to pick up the kids from football practice. So is unlikely, it's like she is not, this is really not very probable, okay? And is likely would be, it would be very probable. Then we can use be about to or to be on the point of. Right, now this is for a very close future. I'm about to go into class, so I can't speak now. So maybe the teacher says to another pupil outside the class, look, I'm about to go into class now, I can't speak, okay? So maybe the teacher will speak later. So in a few minutes, the teacher is going into the class. I'm on the point of resigning. I can't stand working with the boss. So, you know, the situation at work is really bad, okay, and you're thinking of leaving the company. I'm on the point of resigning. So maybe tomorrow you're going to go and you're going to tell the boss you are not going to work there any longer because he's a really bad person or she's a really bad person. Now, shall we can use with I or we. We can't use it with other people, okay, and we can use it to ask for a suggestion. So, for example, what should we do for Easter? All right. Maybe, you know, you want to do something with your friend. What should we do for Easter? Oh, let's go to the mountains, for example. So for asking for a suggestion or for making a suggestion. Shall we order a takeaway tonight? You know, maybe you're feeling tired and you don't want to cook. Shall we order a takeaway? So it's very typical with I and we, but not with other people. Now, I've prepared you a multiple choice activity with word wall where you have to choose the correct forms for the future, all right? So that would be kind of like a nice interactive activity. So you've got all of those structures I've just told you about. You can practice them in that activity. Or if you prefer, you can just do it from the slides.